Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the creation of the Northern Powerhouse event. So many people from the business community and the Met Club members have been asking me questions about the creation of the Northern Powerhouse. What is it? What can it do to our industry, the northern regions? How people like you in this room can get involved. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to our chair for this afternoon's event, to Lord Scriven.
Today in Leeds, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor's here to discuss how Yorkshire and Lincolnshire can power ahead. In the next 20 years, 62% of all economic growth across the world will come from cities. And that's why cities are so important. The concept of the Northern Powerhouse, of the cities of the North working together, is now accepted across the political divide. It is a reality. And the concept of devolution, the concept of the North working together, is something that all parties accept. It's all about not just giving powers and responsibilities and monies to cities, but it's how they then take control of that and use those responsibilities to make sure that economy and the local economies grow. But the key issue is we are more than the sum of our parts. How are we going to bring it all together? How are we going to move from competition management of cities to collaboration management of cities? And I think it's a key question. That's the big idea, that the cities of the North work, collaborate together to create a second regional powerhouse within the UK. So the first speaker I'm going to ask to come up is Mike Emmerich.
There was a time when our cities of Leeds, Manchester, Sheffield, the northern cities, added more to the GVA of this country than London. There's nothing new about it. And the Northern Powerhouse is about using those strengths to help rebuild, to create new capacity, to build on the latent strengths, to bring people back to these cities to make them the great things they were again. For me, I think it looks as if devolution is here for the foreseeable future. But that's for one very simple reason. Governments that have got money to spend tend to centralise. Governments that haven't got money to spend tend to give that power away. But even that isn't guaranteed if we don't have our act together. We need our civic leaders and our business leaders to continue to press the case, so that when the proposals for High Speed 3, One North come out, when the proposals for better road links come out, that we don't get drawn into the trap we so often do of saying, well, would you rather have High Speed 2 or would you rather have High Speed 3? It's like saying, would you rather have an arm or a leg? You need both. But what we know through 30 years of economic growth in our cities is that attempts to make everywhere like everywhere else don't work, and they waste a lot of money.
In the northern cities, we have cities whose economies are underperforming against the national average, and even more so against their asset base. What does the North need to do? What will make it work? We don't need or want the government to come up with a plan for the Northern Powerhouse. We need the North to come up with a plan for the Northern Powerhouse that is credible, that is viable, and that offers a proper return on investment.
What the Prime Minister said was, and Chancellor said was, that they want to have a long-term economic plan, not just for the country, but for Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire, a Yorkshire economic plan, and also to start the work on a proposed tunnel between Sheffield and Manchester. The country is still in this stuck record of north-south divide. South is good, north is bad, and we've got to change that, and we need your help to do it.
It's been fantastic. As always, it has a great range of decision makers that are at the event. Speakers, top calibre. We've got all the chief execs from all the councils that really matter. So for a debate like today, the Northern Powerhouse, for all the key people really, to give us an informed discussion. It's been very good.
The key thing that everybody's talking about is rail connectivity, and while I very much would want it to happen, HS2 and HS3, those things aren't going to arrive for 20 to 30 years, and so we need to get on with what there is and think about very creative ways of getting around and working inside of the confines that we have, because when things are restricted, that's when you really start to get creative and innovate
The thing that worries me mainly is how long it takes to plan and approve plans for new developments. I think when we look back, it's taken years to progress with some of the infrastructure, the railway systems, and it appears that it's going to take many more years before we reach our goal on those issues. So my concern is, can we speed up the planning process?
The creation of the Northern Powerhouse is incredibly important for my business. I work in the north of England, and I see the driving of economic growth as being paramount to the delivery of development projects, be it commercial, but also housing projects and generally the growth of the local economies.
I think it's very important that power is devolved from Parliament out into the regions so decisions can be made by people that it's really going to affect.
I think it's essential that we create this Northern Powerhouse, because I think we have to create that level playing field to kind of deal with some of the inequalities that we see in the UK right now.